Hello sweet beans, my name is Soleil and welcome back to my channel. Today we will be doing my January bullet journal spreads. I'm a little bit late to doing this because I spent quite a bit of time on my 2025 spreads, which you can check out in my 2025 bullet journal setup video. It's a gosh darn good time. Here's a little preview of those. But today we are going to be doing a winter fox theme. So this was very much inspired by my pack of stickers in, I think it was last month's sticker pack from Sticky Club. It was the Hearth of the Fox pack. I'm not sponsored by them. I just get the monthly stickers and I love them. All of my supplies, as always, will be linked down below. I tried out some new stuff this time. Those are very basic, so those are not linked, but I used a paper cutter, not exactly for the first time, but I haven't owned my own paper cutter, and I found this really tiny one that you can see down in the right hand corner at Michael's, and it's been great so far. I also bought a ruler. I know, crazy. I haven't needed a ruler since I was in undergrad, and I don't have one. I don't know what happened to the rulers I had for school, but they're gone. So I bought a ruler, and then I bought a hole punch, which we will talk about a little bit later because I saw something super cool that someone did using a hole punch, and it kind of filled a area that I've been trying to figure out how to make something my own. So we'll talk about that more later. As you just saw, I started listening to the audiobook of, I think it was called Big Magic, while I was making these spreads. I heard a lot of great things about this book. The author is actually the author of Eat, Pray, Love, which I had no idea. I found out while listening to the audiobook and was completely shocked. But it's basically about following your creative journey and not exactly not being afraid, but pursuing creative endeavors even when you are afraid, even if you are unsure or don't feel confident or don't feel particularly inspired in that moment, but kind of accepting that and being okay with that and not pushing yourself, but also keeping a consistent creative routine. And I've heard a lot of really great things about this book, and I've kind of felt like I've been in a creative rut with my writing since I started grad school. No, not grad school, since I started college, because I did a degree in creative writing and also a degree in political science, but this pertains to the creative writing one. And ever since I was in college, I have felt like my writing creativity and just my writing juices have been completely sapped. This isn't anything against like pursuing an English degree or pursuing creative writing or anything against my professors or the university that I attended, nothing like that. It's just that I felt like I was using so much of my energy on my other studies and on creating creative writing projects that I wasn't really inspired by, because creative writing programs in bachelor's degrees, you have to write a lot of short form things, because obviously if you're in a quarterly class, there isn't really enough time to write a full-length novel. It doesn't make sense to submit pieces of your novel to your professor because you're pursuing a degree and you're basically tackling a lot of specific types of projects and learning specific skills. So I just had to do a lot of assignments and a lot of writing projects that just weren't really my style. And I've always been more of a long form writer and like a fantasy writer, and having to do all of these non-fiction, short fiction projects and poetry assignments and short stories was just not my vibe, and I felt like I was really forcing it, and I didn't like most of the things I wrote. So I don't know, I think that was just part of probably many reasons, also just being too busy and being exhausted and burnt out and all of those things. I think those were just some of the reasons why I have not written really since then. I've tried, and I have just felt so uninspired, so tired, and I just haven't really pursued it since then. And I really want to get back into it because writing used to be a huge part of my identity. It used to be what I wanted to do, and I found other things that I enjoyed, and I found a different career path. Doesn't mean I won't go back to writing one day, but I really would like to get back to writing on my own time. So anyways, all that to say, I started listening to this audiobook. I'm actually really enjoying it, and I think it might be helpful. And I really want to make it a priority this year to get back into writing in whatever form that may take, not pushing myself, not setting some kind of daily, weekly, monthly, year, or anything goal, just to get back into it and to find my feet in writing again, because I feel like I've lost that. And it's not lost, I just need to find my way back to it. So back to what we're currently doing on these bullet journal spreads. So you will have actually just seen what I was talking about earlier, which is I got a hole puncher, and I saw someone use a hole puncher to make what looks like their own postage stamp. I've been looking all over the internet to try to find a postage stamp like paper cutter, and I think I found one, but it was quite pricey, and like plus shipping, it was just more than I was willing to spend on a postage stamp cutter. And I've been trying to find different alternatives. I don't think I could hand do it very well. I think it would be kind of a mess and it would take forever. And then I saw someone, I can't remember where it is. I wish I could so I could tell you who had this amazing idea, but I think I saw it maybe on Pinterest. Someone used a hole puncher to basically punch like half-sized holes around a square, and it made it look like a postage stamp. So I tried doing that. As you could see, there were many attempts. The first one I did was a mess. The second and third ones that I did were getting a little bit better. I think I will get better with time, and I look forward to continuing to try this and get better at making them, because I think it's such a cute and great idea. So the spread that I just finished, that you just would have seen, was a journal entry spread that I made. I just got this little mini photo printer from Canon. It's a Canon Ivy printer. Again, I am not sponsored in any way. These are just the things that I use, but you know, just making sure everyone knows. So I just got this little mini printer, and one of the reasons I got it is I really want to prioritize journaling more about things that I do, life experiences, travel, and all of that. And I was just in Germany and the Netherlands for the holidays. I took some photos with my analog camera, and I printed 2 of those photos out. Most of the photos haven't been developed yet, so these were 2 from the latter half of my trip. I printed those out, I covered it in cute stickers, and I want to write in a journal entry about my time. So now we're doing my book spread. So on the left-hand side, you can see my books read, and on the right, it's my books to read. I usually write that, but for some reason, while I was filming this, I completely forgot to write read on the left side and to read on the right side. So I read Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling for the Dragons and Draconathon book club that I co-host with my friend Jade from Jade Juniper. I massively disliked this book. This book was not for me. It felt like a lot of information was cut. It felt rushed. It felt like the love story was out of left field. I disliked the main character. It was just not for me. I did really enjoy The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year by Allie Carter, which I read for the Romantics book club, one of my other book clubs. We read romance books every month. This one was super fun. It was basically 2 crime novelists, or one was a crime novelist, the other one was like a mystery novelist, and they get invited to like this mysterious author's house for the holidays, and they have to solve a murder mystery, and it's so much fun. It's really cute. It was really fast read. Then I read The Solstice Court by my dear friend Jade Juniper. This book was amazing. I am saying this completely unbiased. I am biased, but regardless, this book was amazing. I absolutely loved the world building. It was cozy, but it wasn't boring. Like, I feel like I read so many cozy fantasies that like nothing happens, and in this one it was cozy, but there was so much still going on. You were getting a glimpse into these characters' lives, and there were all of this like political intrigue happening on the wayside, and it was just so interesting and so good, and I cannot wait for the next book. I also read Inanna by Emily H. Wilson for the Mythologists book club. This book was also amazing. It was so cool how they took Sumerian mythology and one of the oldest tales known to humanity, the Epic of Gilgamesh, and made it into this immersive fantasy world. And then I read The Situationship by Abby Jimenez, which is a short story, and I really enjoyed that. So then for movies, I rewatched Thor Ragnarok, Happiest Season, and Jack Whitehall's At Large comedy special. Loved all of those. Then on the plane ride to Germany and the Netherlands, I watched Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris and Wicked Little Letters. Really loved Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. It's super fun. It's about a woman who is going on this like little adventure to get this beautiful dress, and she saved up money. Then Wicked Little Letters I didn't really love. I thought it was going to be fun. I loved like one of the main characters, or I guess she was a side character. She was like a police office inspector. Loved her. Everyone else boring. Then on the flight back, I watched The Miracle Club, Downton Abbey, Twister, the original, and The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Downton Abbey was fine. Miracle Club was like Twister, the original movie, was pretty good, but I love Twisters from last year. Man from U.N.C.L.E., phenomenal, amazing rewatch. Also watched Queer. It was pretty disappointing. I thought this was going to be a movie about queer love and joy in, I think it was Mexico City during one of the world wars, but instead the main character was kind of a terrible person, and he was just so mean and like disregarding everyone's feelings, and then there was this whole weird subplot. So yeah, now you can see me putting together a spread that I meant to do in my my 2025 bullet journal setup. So I specifically got these stamps because I was going through a rough time at the end of December, and I decided to treat myself to these stamps that I saw someone use. Oh my god, who was it? It was Aaron Smith, was that it? I will link them down below, but they used it in a bullet journal setup, and it was amazing, and I loved it, and I really wanted to use these stamps to just enhance bullet journaling things going forward, and specifically also these like little bookshelf stamps. So I'm going to be filling these in with the books that I read this year, and then I also put a little genre section with my 4 main genres that I read, which is romance, fantasy, kind of like mythology or historical fiction, and then nonfiction. I was trying to think of like an other stamp to put for other genres, but I feel like everything that I read fits into these 4 categories. Like I could put in a mystery if I read a mystery, but I'll leave that till later. Like if I later discover that there's other genres, then I can figure out a different little emoticon, little visual representation of whatever genres that is. But for the meantime, those are like the main 4 that I read quite a bit of. So that's what I put there. And now I'm coloring in some of these little details and designs. Yeah, I'm looking forward to filling this in. I've never wanted to do this because it always seemed so daunting to create these book spread things. I was always afraid it would look terrible, but having these stamps really helped me out, and Whenever I bullet journal, I specifically prioritize not planning out exactly how things are going to be or look, which means that there is room for mess ups and mistakes and failures, and that is okay, because otherwise over planning it would take some of the joy out of it for me personally. So I try not to overthink it or over plan it and just let it all come together. So here's a final little flip through of all of the spreads that I did today, and let me know what book or movie you have recently read or watched that you really enjoyed, and what you're really looking forward to reading or watching this upcoming month. I know the spread is a little bit late, but thank you so much for watching if you've made it this far. And feel free to pop in with a little plant emoji or write the word plant if you watched this far in the video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day. Bye!